Typically, I draw from an inventory of materials and objects that I collect in my studio, which are then reconfigured into new assemblages, or sometimes take the form of large-scale installation, freestanding sculpture. I do a little bit of everything. I think what I thought was that I was going to be able to collect the same types of materials that I'm used to collecting where I live, which is a big city. So when I went out onto the streets and walked along Commercial Street, I thought it was going to be coffee cups that I was picking up. I thought it was going to be, scraps of garbage, little bits of, notes, stuff like that. But when I arrived and was so inundated with material immediately upon being here, just without even leaving my studio. So as soon as I put word out that I was going to be collecting material, I was a little bit surprised at sheer volume of material that I collected, which was also quite interesting because it meant on a very, very, very microscopic level, we had sort of a survey of what that looks like in terms of objects we're using on a daily basis that are functional, but functional only so very briefly. So again, things like these boxes that are one-time use. One evolution to my work that's happened here is introducing image and language. So I'm more comfortable in the sphere of objects. Historically, it's how I've worked and it's my background for sure. But I think the PAM work specifically is a piece that kind of brings object, image, and text all together, or object, image, and language all together, and incorporates some processes that I haven't worked with before. So things like image transfers. I've been working in the printmaking shop a little bit, trying to find different ways to translate those images onto the cardboard and things like that. And again, that piece is still very much a mystery to me myself. And I think of it as an experiment or a sketch. I've been working in a format that looks a little bit like a diorama. So using cardboard boxes as the kind of foundation for, again, maybe a cityscape, maybe a city block, maybe my studio itself. And I thought that was a little bit interesting when you think about the work that I did for Pam. It was actually finding a way to maybe insert myself into the work quite literally. So like, how do I actually insert myself into these boxes, imagining them as maybe buildings or structures? In terms of how I actually make choices and make work, again, it's a bit of, it's not something that I totally understand about myself. I think it's something that I learned at a relatively young age, and so often it really just feels like I'm executing, but I do begin with materials, so I don't start with a concept and work toward achieving that. I rather begin with materials. That's always my starting point. And in terms of the language that I'm adopting, I think the materials really are the language itself. And after that, it's sort of a combination of, instinct. Sometimes the works are inspired, but not always. Yeah, just this commitment to kind of finding a way to, finding a position, whether it's temporary or permanent, for the kind of everyday minutia of everyday life.